As we take our Eastern Conference Finals matchup on the road to Indiana, I first wanted to talk about a couple of minor changes I have made to our rotation. One thing I did is I took away Lamont Power's 4 minutes he was getting at power forward in the third quarter, and I'm just giving them to Ernest Augustine. I think Lamont at the 4 works in theory, and maybe later on in his career, once he's a little more developed, will work better. But it just hasn't been very strong so far these playoffs, and Ernest Augustine has a little bit more play strength at that spot. And I've also taken 4 minutes away from Moses Moody. I don't think he's been bad, but I'm giving him to Christian Davidson because he was really good in game 2, and I want to reward him with a little bit more playing time. So he's back up to 24. He'll be playing half the game. And yep, this is what the rotation now will look like for games 3 and 4, of course, unless I make a change prior to game 4. So let's get this road trip officially underway in Indiana. A lot of yellow shirts there in the stands supporting their Pacers. Let's see if either team can take a hold of this series. Of course, tied 1 apiece heading into today's action. For game 3, we'll focus on just the makes so that we can get through 2 games in a reasonable amount of time here as Oubre spins one in. 4-2. Lowry off the screen. Plenty of space for him to fire home the triple. High screen and roll. Malachi Pope with Francis Mullins. Nice job by Malachi to find the big man for the easy deuce. Nice to be back recording this series. Had a brief hiatus due to some stuff happening over the weekend that could not be avoided, but I am glad to be back continuing the story of these Eastern Conference Finals. Halliburton gets it back down to 8 after we got a quick double-digit lead here in the first 4 minutes of this game. Passing around the horn, that finds Andre Stevens, who gets fouled on the drive by Grant Williams. Got a 3-point play opportunity, and he drills the free throw. Halliburton kicks it inside to Anthony. Good defense there by Mullins. But Anthony with the rebound and the assist for the second chance 3. Lowry, though, responds right back with one of his own. That will force an Indiana timeout, down 11-24 here early. Nashville strong on both sides of the court here to start this game. Anthony cleans up his own miss once again. Already seen that a couple times here in this game as Powers drains that deep ball. Mullins going for the steal, gives the MVP an easy basket instead. Lowry in transition, banks home the layup, and we've doubled Indiana so far through the first 8 minutes of this game, but Anthony has been a problem on the offensive boards. We've had games where that has come back to haunt us, and we're forcing a lot of misses, but we got to keep Anthony off the glass. Here he's matched up against AC Stevens. That's been a good matchup for Indiana all series long. Darren Anthony's really exposed AC Stevens' weaknesses here in this series. We'll just say that. Passing around. Indiana finds the open man underneath the basket for 2. It's Darren Anthony going against AC Stevens again, and he scores once more. I mean, it's just feasting time whenever Francis Mullins is out of the game and we get another. We were leading 31-15 at one point in the first quarter until we allowed a 14-0 run, fueled mostly by Darren Anthony just owning AC Stevens in the post. We had a great start to the first and a terrible end. Francis Mullins Puts up a 2 to start the second quarter. Finally, we get a bucket to end this Indiana run, but they're trying to keep up with us now. And here, we've officially given up the lead as we're tied 33 apiece. In transition, Lamont powers his way through the contact for that basket, but he can't complete the three-point play. Double screen here coming for Malachi Pope. He pulls up off of it. That pull-up jumper is pure. Pick and roll with Kelly Oubre and Tyrese Halliburton. You know, Halliburton usually the handler on those pick and rolls, but that time he did a nice job as the roller, and here he puts home 2 more. Screen and roll for Lowry. Thought about shooting, but finds the wide open Mullins. Inside for the two-handed flush. Oubre, shot clock winding down. He gets past Malachi Pope for the flush. Shot clock winding down now for Sidney Lowry. He needs to come up with something. Step back, created space for the mid-range jump shot. Oubre finds Grant Williams underneath, who finds a cutting Tyrese Halliburton. Got Sidney Lowry napping a little bit there. Oh, off the dribble. Drills that jumper. Here he's going to find Mullins in the corner for 3 more. 48-41 now the score in favor of our Sound. Squaring up beyond the arc. Pope continues to do a nice job scoring here today. Moody going against Baldwin and scores right over the top. Back up by a dozen. Pope driving in on Nembhard. Nice finish. Right around that help defense. Here Malachi is again, this time going to feed Sidney Lowry, who quickly flips in that basket. Here Lowry with it again. We know he's very comfortable in that mid-range. Shoots there often and is very good at it. Anthony, nice turnaround jumper here. With 11 seconds left in the half, we've got a buzzer beater make here from Moody. Beyond the arc, that'll give Nashville a 15-point halftime lead, allowing Indiana just 47 points at the break. And before we get too deep into the third quarter, we'll make sure that we give a little bit of a halftime update with kind of our big four doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and really just our starting lineup in general. If you include Powers in there, everybody played quite well. Lowry shooting just 50% is actually our least efficient player, which is not what we usually see. And then the big two over in Indiana, they're both performing well as well. It's just our depth helping us out just a little bit here in this one. Halliburton finds Darren Anthony again on the inside. He continues to be somebody that we just can't find an answer for here in this series. Mullins missed 1 point-blank shot, but makes up for it pretty much instantaneously with the putback. Anthony does a nice job reading the help defense and finding the open man. Andre Stevens with a turnaround mid-range shot. On the answer, Anthony, 2 more going off glass on the inside. Pope scores that basket from the mid-range. Out of himself, quite the efficient day. Indiana just continues to feed Darren Anthony, and we don't really have much of an answer for it, unfortunately. I don't know what we could do other than outright doubling him, but he's shown that when we double him, he makes the right reads. He's not a selfish player at all. He will find his open teammates if you overplay your hand guarding him. And we just don't have anybody that can guard him one-on-one. It's not something we have in our arsenal. I don't know if there's that many players in the entire league that could do it. Maybe a guy like Wemby or Joel Embiid in his prime, but, you know, we don't have one of those players. Francis Mullins is very good. He just not quite strong enough to contend with Darren Anthony a lot of these times. up by 15 here. Tyrese Halliburton has a shot from the corner. Trim it to a dozen. AC Stevens almost got that entry pass stolen, but instead he finds an easy 2 points. Going under the screen, and we're going to pay for it there from Tyrese Halliburton. Nashville leads by 11, but that goes down to single digits with that pick and roll. Christian Davidson. Pick and roll on the other side. It's an and one for AC Stevens. Ricky Taylor driving in on Christian Davidson. Has the size mismatch and uses it to his advantage there. Lowry blows by his man and gets to the cup. Easy layup for him. And now the third quarter coming to a close with a Nembhard, a three-pointer that just rattles out. So Nashville will go into the final quarter up 14. So far the defense has held through 3 quarters here. We've had some trouble on the defensive end lately in these last few episodes, but I like what I'm seeing from it today. Of course, when I'm showing only the makes, you don't get to see how good the defense is doing, but you can kind of tell based on how many points we've allowed how well the defense is performing. Inside, Ricky Taylor, and easy two. After we got caught trying to steal a pass that we weren't quite in position to steal. Cutting is Nembhard. He gets fouled by Christian Davidson. So Nembhard with a 3-point opportunity here. Drains that free throw. Moody. Bounce pass inside. Beautiful feed to Mullins. Coming off a steal. Davidson finds the big man again, and he floats in 2 more. Doing a nice job finishing these inside plays today. Here Mullins is on the dribble, finding the kick-out man, Christian Davidson for 3. A very, very good shooter when he gets the chance to square up. Nembhard makes it a 16-point ball game, but Nashville not allowing Indiana to make their run, which is what's really been plaguing us in other games in this series. No, and in other games, I mean the first 2, of course. But in both of those games, Indiana made a pretty big run in that second half. But today, we're doing a nice job keeping the pressure down, continuing to score, continuing to have high effort defense, and we've really closed the door here. Now up 22 points in the fourth. We're going to sim out the rest of this game, and it would end up being a pretty big victory here. We'll show the last few seconds here just because it's fun to see the post-win animation, but it's going to be 128-97. Holding an opponent under 100 points is big, big news for this team who's, again, defense had been struggling the last few episodes. Got back on track here in Game 3, and that's a positive sign for Nashville going forward. If we can keep the defensive pressure going, you know, we've had a lot of good defensive first halves, but usually our defense falls apart in the second. This time it did not. Hopefully we can see that continue. On to Game 4. Francis Mullins, winning player of the game today. Saw what he was doing on the interior here. Not a lot of jump shooting today, but he definitely got his fair share of opportunities on the inside in Game 3. And we'll take the 2-1 advantage here heading into Game 4. Taking a look here at the box scores. Larry ends up going for 30. Francis Mullins with 27, 17, and 6 with 3 blocks. Yep, definitely deserving of player of the game for sure. Had a little bit of an issue early on the offensive rebounds, but he got that cleaned up as the game went along. Ended up nagging 17 boards. So let's hop right into Game 4 now. This time we'll take more of a look at the complete game here and see if we can really put ourselves in a good spot after this road trip. If we can go up 3-1, you gotta love our chances of going to the finals this year. Pick and roll. Sidney Lowry clean lane into the basket. He finishes with a little bit of flair. Halliburton swings it to Oubre. Indiana eventually gets it inside to Darren Anthony, but Mullins was right there. Halliburton. It's that tough jumper. Had a man right in his grill, but it didn't matter. Oh, he's left all alone. Had all the space you'd ever need to drill that three-pointer. Shot clock winding down for Indiana. Halliburton right over the top of Lowry. He's going to hit a couple of tough jumpers here to start this game. Oh, no good. That attempts Drew left iron. Baldwin needs to come up with something here. 1 second left on the shot clock. Powers with the strong defense. Cutting his Pope. He gets fouled on that attempt. Looked like he was going to go for a dunk there, but the foul forced him into the layup. But we'll take the extra point for sure. Anthony. He just double dribbled. He just double dribbled. What was that? You all saw that too, didn't you? That was a double dribble. How was that not called? I mean, I understand he's the MVP and he gets favorable calls, but not that blatant. That was wild. Hope drilling the mid-range jump shot. What was that call, man? Andre Stevens, top of the key, finds a cutting Malachi Pope once again. His finish makes it 17-11. As Halliburton missed that three-pointer. Mullins forced to take a tough three-pointer late in the shot clock. That one's not going to fall. Now we've got it inside to Sidney Lowry. Able to easily finish over the top of Andrew Nembhard. Halliburton. That's a tough three off the dribble, but he made it look easy. His jump shot has certainly started off well tonight, and Indiana able to capitalize off that Lowry turnover. Pope on the cut again. This time he slams it in. Those Malachi cuts have given us a lot of production here in this first quarter. Lowry driving. He gets fouled. Earned himself his first trip to the line. He's too strong on that first free throw. But he's not going to go 0 for 2. Stop and pop. 3 is a little too strong there for Indiana. Lowry now. Another drive. This time finds the open man on the kick. Andre Stevens for 3. 25-18 now, under 3 minutes left here in the first. That's just not a good pass. Had Miles Turner there on the cut, I think pretty easily, but we make maybe even a worse pass there from AC Stevens. I don't know what that is. Another turnover. Just been turnover city this last minute or so. And then Christian Davidson. I don't know what his plan was on that drive, but that's 4 straight possessions ending with a steal. Got to see Christian Davidson have maybe a little bit more purpose there on that fast break. He kind of just dribbled and dribbled right until the defense swiped it away. Off the catch. No good. Strong closeout attempt there to force the miss. And then we find the trailing big man in transition. Taylor spinning and stepping back. Some sweet moves, but Moody did a nice job staying in front. Stevens knifing through the defense for the easy layup. Nashville now leads by 8. Under a minute left. Pick and roll for Miles Turner. He draws The Andre Stevens foul. From the free throw line, he would drill both of his attempts. Moody now. Pick and roll with AC Stevens. Nice job shielding Miles Turner away from that attempt. Down to 2 seconds left here in the quarter. Nembhard will take the last shot. It's too strong. So Nashville up 31-23 after one here in game 4. Anthony to start off quarter 2. That one just rims around and out. Strong contest from Francis Mullins. Oh, another one. A couple of shots in a row that just were in and out. In the post. Anthony, he gets blocked away by Francis Mullins. Davidson off the catch, but Ricky Taylor did a nice job fighting through the screen. Pope forcing Tyrese Halliburton out of bounds there. That's something that we've been able to do once or twice pretty much every game. Seems like a coaching point from Quinn Snyder to try to force Halliburton to the boundary. And it's, like I said, generated quite a few turnovers here in this series. So we'll take it for sure. Davidson with it. Well, fade away in the face of Kelly Oubre, but not much space there. Oubre with a bit more space drills his mid-range jumper. Pick and roll for Davidson. He gets stuffed by Anthony. That was a very questionable decision. Anthony stopped in his tracks by Mullins, and he forces the miss. Very strong defense from him. Making me eat my words that he's not a great matchup for Darren Anthony. He's made life very difficult for him here in this first half. Pope floats one in for 2. Nashville leads by 8. Kind of been leading by around 8, it seems like, for quite some time. Neither team able to really build up much of a run here to start the second. Lowry giving a ton of space off that screen. Now Anthony flips it back to Halliburton, and that three's no good, but Anthony cleans up the glass and flushes in the putback dunk. Lowry. Good look from the mid-range. We put 40 on the board for us here, halfway through the second. Anthony. Nice defense there to force him to miss. And Sidney Lowry off the mark with that jumper. Ernest Augustine with the loose ball foul. Nembhard gets by Pope. Goes off glass with the reverse. Lowry defended by Baldwin. Help defense leaves Ernest Augustine wide open for 3. Pick and roll. That one's inside to Darren Anthony. Tipped away for a moment, but it gets into his hands. More pick and roll action. This time Lowry as the roll man. He stops and pops for 2. Post feed for Anthony. That sky hook is off, and Mullins continues to have a very, very strong half on the defensive end. Augustine, he finds Lowry. Nice contest from Baldwin, but it's not going to matter as Lowry gets the contested jumper. Stevens with it, trying to find the cutter. Somehow got that to Lowry. That looked like it was going to be stolen for sure. And we get the basket. Taylor, he's hounded by Moody. Ends up trying to feed Miles Turner, but he had a foot out of bounds. Nobody on Moody on the other end. He splashes home a 3. A nice sequence from who is the oldest player in our lineup at the age of 25. That one lofted up for Malachi. Maybe that should have had a little bit more loft there and we could have got the dunk, but hey, we got the basket. Malachi cutting again. This time Andre Stevens with the feed. and getting a lot of nice looks from point-blank range from Malachi in Game 4. Under a minute left in the half. We feed Andre Stevens for 3, no good that time. Ricky Taylor. He's going to get that pass stolen by Sidney Lowry. He's running the floor and getting fouled in transition. I was hoping for a bit of showtime there, but nice job sticking at his hip. Forcing him to earn it from the free throw line, which is exactly what he does. 58-42. Now, just a few moments remaining here in the half. Lowry has a chance for one more shot, but does his patented dribble right into the knee of the defender move that we've seen so many times. But regardless, a good half once again. Not a single Indiana Pacer in double digits at the half. Darren Anthony just 4 of 11. I mean, he's getting absolutely shut down by our guy Mullins so far in this game. Lowry only attempted 8 shots, 8 for 8, 21 points. Pope also put up 20 points at the half and 5 assists. 5, 5, and 5 for Stevens. Haven't seen a bunch from Mullins offensively, but of course, we know what he's been doing on that defensive end. I'm going to start half number 2 with Oubre getting a trip to the line. He's been the best at getting to the line in this entire series for both teams. Don't know how that's the case, but it has been. There's a fancy finish on the alley-oop from Sidney Lowry. Perfectly placed feed from Andre the Giant. Step back for Halliburton, and that one is going to be an air ball. Lowry did a nice job staying in front there as Mullins is fouled by Anthony on that attempt. Trying to get his first points of the game, but that free throw is no good. Does get his first point there, though. Oubre off the catch. That one's in. Pope swings it to Lowry, who finds an open Mullins in the corner. That somehow didn't drop. Hung up there on the rim for a couple of seconds. Malachi with it. Finds Mullins again. That one not nearly as close. A bit of a brick there from Francis. Trying to get his offensive game going, as he just hasn't been as involved as he'd like to be, I'm sure. But Powers there, taking advantage of all that open space with that corner 3. Oh, trying to go up top for Sidney Lowry, but Indiana was all over that action. Grant Williams pump fakes like 3 times and still hits the basket. What was that? Oh, man. Oh, man. Malachi Pope just gets snatch blocked. Why do we just go for these terrible shots right in front of Darren Anthony? You'd think we learned by the time we're in Game 4, but some of these shots are just awful. Anthony on the inside. Going with a tough shot over Mullins, but the strong defense continues. Lowry off the catch. That one's pure. And now we lead by 20. Halliburton spinning, and the layup falls. Right over the top of Sid the Kid. Davidson waited all that time for the screen and decided not to use it in the end. They can pop. Anthony. Too much on that attempt. Now Nashville in transition. Going inside to Malachi. He finds the space he needed for that one. Oubre drills the 3 off the catch. He's been a reliable scorer for Indiana. Lowry too strong on that catch and shoot attempt. Gonna be a kick out to Grant Williams. Like I said, whenever we try to bring the help defense on Darren Anthony, he always makes the right decisions. finds the open man. So just bringing the double is just not a very good option against him, unfortunately. Because sometimes that feels like the only way you could stop him. You've been playing good one-on-one defense against him in game 4, though, so I'd prefer maybe not to bring the help defenders there. No good on that 3. Mullins with the board. Lowry finds Pope. He's firing off the catch, but missing. Indiana not coming up with anything, and they get rewarded for that BS. Warren Christie's not even a good shooter. How is he hitting that? And then Christian Davidson's missing a shot that's 10 times better on the other end. And now our 20-point lead is already cut in half. Sometimes it feels like this game's a little scripted, I gotta be honest. Like, what is going on there? And then Lowry misses that? What is going on? What is going on? Another miss. Tell me it's not scripted. All of a sudden, we're incapable of finding a single basket. Lowry misses again. The last couple of shots have not been great shot selection, I will say that. Christie actually misses this time like he should. Lowry, step back. He just can't buy a bucket right now all of a sudden. In transition, Ricky Taylor hits a shot and all of it. What the heck? It was 50-70! It was 50-70! Davidson passes up the wide open 3 to just shoot it right in the face of Darren Anthony. What is that? What is that shot selection? You're open for a corner 3. Instead, you try to shoot in the face of the best center in basketball. The best player. He's the freaking MVP. Halliburton gets fouled on the drive inside. Oh, he drills both of his free throws. So it'll be a 3-point game here. One's down the post. Finds Pope baseline, and he missed that one. Oubre on the inside draws another foul. Why is Kelly Oubre drawing fouls like he's a superstar? He's not. He's not even good. He's okay. This game's tied. This is a joke, man. A joke. This time it's the offense failing us. It's always been the defense in the past. But now we've just gone on cold streaks offensively that we just never see. Great play in transition off the Pope steal there, though. Oubre draws another foul. Like, what the hell is this? Why is Oubre shooting like 8 free throws a game? Huge 3 there by Ernest Augustine. But Oubre wide open, you know the results of that. The guy is literally a superstar according to 2K. Don't know how that's the case. Moody rims around and out on that mid-ranger. Oubre again draws another freaking foul. It's automatic every single time he drives. It's a foul. It's ridiculous. Ball don't lie. He missed both of them. We push it ahead to Christian Davidson. Nice play in transition. Oubre again. This time missed the 3. Should have driven it inside. He'd get a guaranteed foul call. Mullins missed a free throw again. This is just not his day shooting the ball. I mean, he can't hit a shot. Free throw, jumper, whatever it is. He's been insanely good defensively, but he cannot find his shot today. Pope Finds the open man on the inside in transition. Ernest Augustine flushes home a dunk. Halliburton, no good on that pull-up jumper. Pope left to his lonesome in the corner. And now we're back up by 10. Oubre on the inside. That one's blocked away by Mullins. Finally, there's an Oubre drive that doesn't result in a flipping foul. This time it'll be us drawing the foul. Malachi Pope earns a pair of free throws. Knocks them both down. We lead by a dozen. Now under 7 minutes left in the game. Oubre. Pull-up jumper from the mid-range is good. Lowry. Off the screen. Found plenty of space for that jumper. He's up to 33 points now. Here he's playing some great defense on Patrick Baldwin, but it doesn't matter there. We know he's a very good shooter. Lowry sifting through the traffic. There were a lot of yellow jerseys there, but he still finds a way. Oubre continues to be a menace. Lowry, no good there. That was a solid look. On the inside, Miles Turner, he's defended by Lamont Powers. Gotta imagine Indiana likes that matchup, but Powers forces the pass. Oubre, though, is incapable of missing. Lowry driving in on Oubre, and he scores over the top of him. Halliburton. Bounce pass inside to Miles Turner. He gets hacked. Drills the first free throw. Second one up and in as well. Just a 6-point ball game here. 4 minutes remain. That's a nice feed inside to Mullins. Taking advantage of the double team. And we get Tyrese Halliburton to step out of bounds again. I mean, it has been awesome. Unfortunately, we get the ball right back to the Pacers with an illegal screen, though. Williams, kind of a awkward in-between shot, and he missed it. Here we're looking for Malachi Pope. And you know he's not going to miss here in the final 3 minutes of a game. We're up by 11. As long as we can keep our foot on the gas a little bit offensively, we should be able to salt away this game, and that's what we're doing here with Lowry. Anthony on the interior, just out-muscling Mullins there. Sometimes you got to give Anthony the win. It's been coming up Mullins a lot in that matchup today, but you can't win them all against the MVP. Halliburton trying to keep the Pacers in this, but this game is pretty much over here. As long as we can continue to keep our foot on the gas, which is exactly what we're doing here. Making sure we get good shots every possession, drilling those good shots. Not allowing Indiana back here. Lowry on the cut, slams one in for two. Up 13 with a minute left. We'll fast forward to the end, and Nashville will sweep games 3 and 4 on the road, taking a commanding 3-1 series lead as we prepare to come back home. We'll have an opportunity to stamp our tickets to the NBA Finals in front of our Nashville faithful. It's exactly the position we were hoping to be in to start this episode. Sidney Lowry, of course, player of the game as he so often is, was very efficient, played great defense as always as well, and was key to us winning this Game 4 matchup and putting us in prime spots to seal the Eastern Conference here in year 5. There was definitely a couple of moments both in this episode and prior that I thought that the Pacers would be kind of the team to eliminate us here, but after it's all said and done, we are 1 game away. And considering the fact that we had not even won, a playoff series prior to this season, that's a pretty big step forward. Kelly Oubre was insane. Definitely played above his ratings today. Sidney Lowry, 49, 1 and 8, 30-point double-double from Malachi. He has taken very well to his increased role. Christian Davidson continues to be up and down here in the playoffs. But that's all I've got for this episode. We'll be going back home for Game 5 and possibly Game 6 if necessary. And the next one will be coming out soon. And until then, sound up.